an Ironic Media production. Visit us at ironickmedia.com.
Okay, want to clap for Aaron?
All right, yeah.
Okay. And it's 3, 2, 1, and then clap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. I mean, you barely even clapped.
I heard it.
That was like...
No, it read... Well, you'll see when you get the audio. It pegged.
All right. If you say so. All right, here we go.
You're crazy, man. You're a loser. Playoffs?
It's the Marc and Lowell Show.
The Marc and who?
Starring the meteorologist who does it for the viewers.
Smoke!
Lowell Meltzer.
Can you get out of here?
And the man who rides the coattails of his friends and family. Marc Ronick.
Hey guys, it's enough with the amplifier.
And now, here they are. Radio's equivalent of a dial-up connection.
Hello, boys.
Marc and Lowell.
It is the Marc and Lowell Show. I am your host, Marc Ronick, and here with me is Lowell Meltzer. Hello, Lowell.
Hello, yes, Madden.
Yeah, it's our all Madden episode, and yes, you're going to be hearing a lot of clips from way back in the early days of the Marc and Lowell Show, and no, this is not us being lazy and trying to get out of doing a show.
Mm-hmm. This is a tribute, if you will, to the great John Madden. As you know, several weeks ago, or maybe more than a month ago, passed away. You and I were bummed out by it, so this is our tribute to John Madden.
Yes, and it came up because when we were doing our full recording session, we had Jonah with us, and the topic came up, and one of the things we were discussing was we really need to do some kind of tribute show, so our producer, Aaron Lamb, put all this together for us. We're really excited about it. I mean, we go back as far as episode 22 of the Marc and Lowell Show when we first mentioned Madden, and of course, this is going to be heavy on the Madden video games.
Oh, yeah, that's true, because that's really what we would discuss a lot, is the Madden video games rather than John Madden himself. But I think we also go over the importance of John Madden and what that meant if he was calling your particular game that week back in the day.
Right. Oh, and also you are a big fan of, and I feel bad that I can't think of the name, but it just popped in my head, the comedian who does the impressions of John Madden.
Yeah, you're going to put me on the spot. Oh, Frank Caliendo.
Yes.
Frank
Caliendo. Yes. And we've had episodes even about him. I'm not even sure if that's going to come up in this one or not. But,
I pray it does, but I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll put in a little special request for Aaron. So let's get to it. It is the All Madden Show on the Marc and Lowell Show.
Resistance is futile. It's the Marc and Lowell Show.
And Nintendo, you know, it upgraded to a new game system to Super Nintendo. And probably the most infamous game that we played, or at least that we loved as far as the intros goes, sounded like this.
Madden! Yeah, because we'd call each other up, and we'd go like, "Hey, do you want to come over and play some Madden? Madden,
Madden, Madden.
Yeah, Madden."
Do you know what year that one is?
That's got to be what? Early 90s?
Yeah, that's John Madden Football 93, and you know, with Madden they always do it a year ahead. So we were doing that in 92.
Ooh.
Yeah,
geez.
Back in the day.
Old man.
Flashback.
The other quote we always reference is from Madden, and it's always Akers back to kick it off.
Sissons back to kick it off.
And it was Pat Summerall, right?
Pat Summerall. Great defensive play by Papunu.
That's right. I guess it's just because they had that same track just play over and over again and just stuck in our heads.
Yeah, and he had to it was like Akers is back to kick it off.
Right.
Like whatever kick, it's just like they had to say each name. You know, they just said each name. And then
it was all pieced together.
Yeah, and like Madden's comments, whoa, ho, 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 like every time.
Yeah.
And that Madden, all you had to do was sweep it to the left and you could just score every time.
Yeah, not anymore.
No, I know it's gotten much more complicated.
You and I mean, we obviously played that game a lot. And obviously nowadays we don't really have the time for video games as much. But when I was in New York visiting family, my 16-year-old cousin has a 360.
Yeah, Xbox.
So we played Madden. That's like the one game that I'll always play with him every year, and it's probably the only time I play Madden. And man, it is so much more complicated now.
Really? Yeah, because there's like 5,000 buttons.
5,000 buttons, and I guess technically I'm a PlayStation guy, so anytime I get on an Xbox controller, I don't feel comfortable.
Right.
But he definitely owned me. This was the first year. I always was able to beat him and put up a good competition. This year, he was just schooling me.
Yeah, well, he plays it every day, every hour, probably, too.
Yeah, and then what he loves to play are the shoot games, the shoot 'em games.
Right.
And, man, those things are intense. We didn't play anything like that back in the day.
No way. We had, like, Battle Arena to Shinden.
Yeah, with Duke and Foe.
Right.
We should link a video to those because
we used to play that like endless amounts in the apartment when you and Jonah lived together.
Yeah, there was definitely real fights that broke out. Real fights. And wasn't that when Jonah ripped your shirt or we ripped his shirt?
Yeah, he got like so mad.
Yeah. I think he was going to reach for you, and he grabbed your shirt, and it ripped or something.
There was like the guy. I always like to be that guy, Chaos. Like he was that weird character, and like there was a move you could do with him if you made him jump around, and like you couldn't get him. So like it wasn't really cheating, but it was just the way you did it.
Right.
Yeah, he would get so mad because he would be beating me, and I'd be almost dead, and then I'd do the move and keep doing the move, and then he'd die, and he'd go, "Get it!"
and I had Foe, who he was kind of like a Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Ooh. And I think his move was like either like a foot sweep, like a front sweep, or or with his cane he'd do a front sweep.
Yeah, and didn't he have like those big long like Freddy Krueger
claws or something?
Something? Yeah.
It was one of his special moves that he would break out the claws and claw you to death.
Yeah. He used to get so mad.
Flashback.
This morning, I posted that Valentine's Day video from John Madden, the John Madden impersonation
funny.
On Mad TV. That's one of my favorites.
It was kind of in the spirit of the old Julia Child episode of Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live, yes. But Frank Caliendo does such a good impersonation of John Madden. It's just that it's so hold the wood for me, Justin.
Yeah. Well, the best part is, so he's like chopping off his fingers. And what was it again that he was demonstrating?
He was trying to build a birdhouse for Valentine's Day.
Right. Okay. And one of the best parts, I won't give it away so that people can enjoy it, but there's one scene in that where he has like a saw and he's cutting across the table and he injures himself. And because that one, you just don't expect it at all. Right. Especially because the initial cut that he's doing, it's fine. Like it worked great. It's the first time everything worked. And then all of a sudden you're surprised with an injury.
It's so funny. But anyway, when I posted it, I spelled Valentine's Day completely wrong.
Oh, it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. And I didn't think anything of it because in my quick mind, it looked right when I was typing it really fast. And then I went on an hour later and I'm like, oh my God, it's spelt wrong. I want to fix that. Nope, couldn't fix it.
Yeah, and the worst part of that also is the way sometimes you find out is you get 100 post replies, people making fun of you on how you spelled it. And that then I just start steaming from there.
I know.
Because it's like, well, I know how to spell Valentine's. Obviously it's a typo.
Right. And I mean, I wasn't even close. I didn't even have the L in it or anything. Right. It was like, obviously it was a typo. But actually, you know what? I didn't get any smart remarks, but I'm sure after this airs, they'll all come out.
Really? You didn't get any? Nobody said anything?
No, I just got a lot of likes on it.
God, I get raked over the coals whenever I do something like that.
I do too. Like, I've had to remove posts and repost them.
Flashback.
So as I told you, no surprise, my into this week is the PlayStation 3, which I bought, what is it, probably over a month ago.
shammed Shackman.
I did. So
can I have more money for it?
yeah, he was scamming me.
I know.
But I really haven't had a chance to get into it until this week, and I even ordered Madden 13. And of course, I am completely addicted to it again. So I'm finally going to sit down with it. I think this was over this past weekend. And I'm like, all right, here we go. I got my game, and I'm going to go to it. So I turn it on, and immediately it's update required. Update required. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, yeah, because
Shackman probably hasn't updated it since he bought it.
Oh, yeah, I don't think, I would guarantee you he probably never updated it.
Right.
So, and that's what I said to myself. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I should have expected this. So I go through
Does it have Wi-Fi or something?
Yeah, it's all over Wi-Fi. And my house, it's a fast connection here.
Right. I know where this is going.
So that in itself probably takes a good 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was going to be worse. So they were going to say it was like an hour.
Well, yeah, but then so I do it, and I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And update required.
It was doing every update.
Every update. 40 minutes
of updates. Oh my God.
It had 2 system updates. Oh, and then if you want to sign up for playing online, which I'll get to in a minute, that's a whole other procedure. You have to go through a whole setup process, and you're using one of the game pads to type.
Oh yeah, so it takes forever.
So it takes forever, and then it has to reboot. So it reboots. I got to go through that. And then I'm finally done, and I have the game in, and I go to play it, and I want to play it online. And so then, of course, Madden must update. Madden must update.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, this literally took about an hour to just sit down and play a effing game. I was so aggravated.
I mean, it's ridiculous. You just wanted to play the damn game, and it's like, Madden. And beep, 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 beep.
So playing Madden, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to play online right away because I know these are all geeks that are just...
Yeah, they're just going to slaughter you.
Slaughter me. So I play a bit against the computer in the first rookie level, and I'm kicking its butt. And I went up a couple of levels to make it more competitive. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to go online.
Uh-oh.
I can do this.
I can do it.
And I get on there, and my ass has been handed to me every effing time. Every time. I mean, the first game I played, luckily, the other night I almost got completely shut out, and that was going to absolutely destroy my ego. And I scored with no time left on the clock, but the final score was like 42-7. And then the thing is that some of these games by halftime, I'm like, all right, it's 14-14. I'm like, I've either found somebody of equal skill level or I'm improving, and I'm excited. And then by the end of the game, it's like 53-14. I can't stand it. And one guy all he did for, I'd say 80% of his plays, he kept doing this screen pass to the left. And no matter what defense I'd call, I could not stop this play. He'd get 6, 8, 10 yards every time.
Sounds like a glitch.
Yeah, it might be one of those double dribble glitches.
Yeah.
You hit the 3-pointer from the one spot. And the problem is I do it so late at night. I caught myself the other night playing. I yelled out loud at the guy because he scored on like an 80-yard touchdown on me. And I'm like, oh my God, there's other people in this house.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to keep it down.
So yeah, I've got to watch it because I get way too involved.
Well, I'll be interested to hear how that all plays out for you.
Yeah, I remember one year I got you for when we both had PCs. I got you Madden. We could play online. I got you a controller for your PC. I hooked you all up, and we never did it.
We never played.
Never did it.
Never did it.
One day we will return to the Madden competition.
To the Madden competition. I wouldn't even know what to do now. There's so many buttons on those controllers.
And that's the other thing is that I'm still in like 1990s Mark mode where I'm using the control pad the way I did when you and I would play Madden, and everything is different now, and there's more buttons, and it's very complicated.
Flashback.
Some things though really piss me off when you're playing against these people because when they get frustrated, they just quit. So
yeah, but doesn't that go against their points or whatever?
Yeah, it does. It affects their rankings, and everybody can see what percentage of the time they've actually quit the games that they've played. So you can avoid them moving forward. But now I'm also finding, this is something that I remember from my early days of playing Madden Online, is that once they get shunned, they just start a new account.
Oh.
And just start all over again and start quitting in the third quarter with 2 minutes left in the quarter. They just quit. And the other day, one guy really pissed me off. He was winning 14-7, and it was still the first half. And I recovered a fumble when he was going to return a punt. I recovered the ball, and so now I get it back, and he quit.
Well, maybe he had to go.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No. And then there's always the dicks that like to just run up the score on you.
Yeah.
And I can't stand it because I don't want to be the quitter. I don't want to be known in the Madden community as a quitter.
Right.
So I take
you gotta tough it out. Yeah.
I take the beating and I get so mad and I yell and scream at it, but it's gotten me better now because now I'm starting to win some, or I'm winning handedly, and then people are quitting. So I know I'm on to something.
You said that you played a listener.
So last night, see, my other problem with this addiction is that I've got so much to do during the day and even into the evening that I don't have time to play it until I should be going to bed, but I have to play. And the problem is
get in a quick game.
Yeah. And the problem is there's no such thing as a quick game. Each game takes like 45 minutes. So, I just got the urge. I was tired of playing faceless people, and I decided to just randomly post on Facebook. I said, hey, if anyone has a PS3 or Madden,
full nerd mode,
let me know. I'd like to play. And I left my handle on there. So yeah, if you want to play, go for it.
Yeah, can I sign up?
My post said, anyone play Madden 13 for PS3? Looking to play a game. MDR 8773.
So what happened?
So this one guy, Daniel Medina, he's the first post on there, and he says, man, this post makes me want to buy the game just to play ya. And then a few minutes later, he writes, hey, if you want, can I get the game right now and be ready in 10 minutes? Should I go get it?
Yeah.
So I just wrote, LOL, up to you, Daniel.
Yeah.
And then within minutes, he's like, okay, sending you a friend request, going to get the game. It's on.
Oh, jeez.
Boom, about 10 minutes later, he and I are online, and we go to it, and I'm the Skins and he's the Cowboys.
Did you headset it?
Well, that's the thing. He had a headset and I didn't, and all of a sudden I was kind of like, it'd be nice to have a headset.
Yeah, that'll be your next move.
Well, I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
But we played, and it was a close game. I think he took an early lead, but I pulled through and won 21-18. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm halfway through the game. I'm like, this ain't his first time playing.
Yeah, right. I was just going to say, he had a lead?
Yes. Yeah. I think he was like scamming me.
Yeah, I think he was scamming you too.
But I ended up winning 21-18.
Yeah, so that's good.
So at this point, it is after the first game, it's like, I don't know, 11. No, it's like 12:30. And I'm like, gotta play again.
Gotta play again?
So I went back on my post on the thread and I said, ready for one more, Daniel?
Uh-oh.
And he says, ha, yes, sir. Send me an invite.
Uh-oh.
So I created a room because I was having trouble figuring out how to invite. So I created a room that he could find and go into, and I just called it PUE. He found it, he came in, and then I just beat him to oblivion.
To a pulp?
Oh, it was brutal.
So what happened? Was it close the one time in a pulp?
He still played competitively. The score didn't look like that, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But I think I just kind of figured out some of his weaknesses, and I applied my strengths, and I destroyed him.
Boy, you are nerd. You are a king nerd now.
King nerd.
King nerd. King of the nerds.
Flashback.
With Madden, even though I know you were like, oh, you want to talk about Madden again?
Here we go.
I don't know what's wrong. I thought it was a good story.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel. I listened back to it, and I was like, what was the point of this story?
There doesn't have to be a point except the fact that I'm addicted to the game, and I'm now going online and geeking it out.
You're a grown man.
With
You're
listeners.
almost 40 years old, and you need to play the Madden.
I can't stop playing it.
It's a sickness.
But I thought you would like this because I wanted again to play with a listener.
Yeah.
So I went back to the thread that I talked about in our previous week, and I said, "Hey, dude," I forget his name off the top of my head. Do you ready to play again? And then I let a few minutes go by, and my brother was over, so we were just chatting. And then I went back to look, and it was, sorry, man, I'm out at a bar. I'll play with you some other time. And then I'm thinking to myself, wow, I just got rejected. It's like, hey, dude, I'm out having a good time on a Thursday night.
I have a life. Right.
You want to play Madden. Sorry.
And he made my point.
I know.
Wow, did he make my point?
I couldn't believe I was rejected.
Yeah, by a listener.
My ego was destroyed.
Yeah, I bet. Maybe that made you think twice, maybe I should get rid of this thing.
No, I said, all right, I'll just go and play a stranger online.
Play a 14-year-old.
And went on to play, and I scored 13 points. He scored 70.
Ooh.
And not only that, he, in like the third quarter when he was up like 42-10 or whatever it was, he actually did an option where it's a, what do you call it? A mercy quit.
Oh, you can do a mercy quit? Oh, they can offer you that?
Yes.
So you should just take it.
I looked at my brother. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want to. Because maybe it's the wording when I hear, all right, mercy.
Yeah, but you know what?
You say
then
uncle?
you probably pissed him off because he's like, now I got to waste. I got to waste all this time playing this guy that
it's not
sucks.
competitive to him at all.
Yeah, so that's why he ran it up to 70.
Yeah, well, I think it's just because he was just running up the score because he could.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play it out and see what I could do.
Can you offer the mercy?
You can ask for a friendly quit.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, friendly quit. And I did that once. And
they get the credit for the win?
Yes.
And you get a loss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. Yeah.
See, I would do that. If it starts running, if it's like 40-0.
But it doesn't go against your quit percentage. You know, I had told you about that.
Right, you're getting blown out, so let's end it.
Somebody's barbecuing.
Yeah, you smell that? Oh, maybe it's up on that deck over there.
It is. Oh, wow, that smells excellent.
Free.
Wow.
Well, why don't we take a break and we'll go over there and see if they'll give us some food.
See if they'll give us some food.
Yeah.
Flashback.
Late night, my brother and I don't go out partying, even though he's the rock star. We go and hang out in my room when everyone goes to bed and play Madden.
Oh, and smoke bongs?
No, we don't do that.
Oh, okay.
This is my mother's house.
I know. Well, you've done it before.
Only when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I would never.
So you Maddened with your brother?
Yeah, and what's great is my brother, he doesn't really play it because he's never really played Madden, so he doesn't want to try to jump into the trenches and get his ass beat.
Right.
So my brother, he sits back and we talk about the game as we're playing, and he gets into it as if he's watching an NFL game.
Oh, so you were playing somebody else?
Yes, I was playing online.
And he was watching? Okay. Like, hey, what's up? You there?
Yeah, well, no, I couldn't do the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth, I will tell you, this is why I actually even brought it up.
Right.
Earlier this week, I was playing some Madden at night, wanted to play before I went to bed. I got the Facebook message from the guy who, he's like, hey, you want to play? Mm-hmm. And he's the same guy I played just recently. He's a listener.
Right.
So I said, yeah, sure. And the whole time, as I'm setting up the game and waiting for it to load up, I'm thinking, should I do the Bluetooth?
Yeah, no.
And I was just hesitating, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to bring it up. And within minutes after I made that decision, he's like, you got your Bluetooth? And I'm like, all right. So then once he said, yeah, let's do it, then I'm like, all right, if he wants to do it, I'll do it. So I played an entire game, about 45 minutes, with this listener.
Yeah.
I hope, Jeff, I pronounce your last name right. Gallant or Gallant.
Right.
And his wife's name is Noelle. She sent us one of the calls of their kid doing the POEs.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
She's also the one that I met at one of the live shows with the other show that I used to be on.
Right.
The first one last year, she was there, and she was there with him, and she was going around lip kissing every single one of us on the show.
Uh-oh.
With him.
Oh.
He was there. And she's like, I have to kiss you. I have to kiss you. And he's not some small, puny guy. He's kind of a big, tall guy. Not a heavy guy, but just a big, thick guy. And
yeah, so he could wring your neck.
You don't want to necessarily cause any trouble with him.
Yeah.
And,
if only he had wrung your neck.
She's like, I got to kiss you. I got to kiss you. And he just looks at me and all the other guys there with a big smile on his face, and he's just like, I don't care.
Now, did she come on the Bluetooth?
No, she didn't. But I had said to him at one point, I'm like, wow. I said, I really have to take a good look at myself, because now I can actually say I've played online video games with both you and your wife. I played for a while when I used to play the Draw Something game. I used to play with her all the time.
Oh, boy. That's kind of weird.
I'm such a geek.
You are a geek. You really need to geek it out, man. You are a geek.
I have to embrace my geekdom.
Yeah. You are a full-fledged geek.
But I did beat him.
All right, good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm like 3 games above 500 now. I'm kicking some ass.
Good. You're really good. I'm glad you're
good.
Glad you're getting good at Madden. It's good for the show, I guess.
Yeah, great for the show.
That's great.
Resistance is futile. It's the Mark and Lowell Show.
You know, since we recorded this particular episode, since then, we also lost the great Louis Anderson.
Yes, I saw that. What's going on here, man?
I think everyone's just sick of COVID, so they're just leaving the planet.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah. So today, everybody, we want to find out from you, since this was the All Madden show, we want to hear from you any favorite moments you had growing up all around John Madden.
Yeah, I can think of several, but I'm curious for our listeners that are probably similar age to us, what they remember most about his broadcasting, because after watching the documentary, it brought back so many memories.
Yeah, so, you know, if you have a favorite moment, go out there and find it on YouTube, or just simply leave a comment in the posts and let us know some of the things that you remember. And yes, the funnier, the better. We love funny John Madden moments.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you. We will see you guys next time on the Mark and Lowell Show.
Bye-bye.
Lowell, speaking of Madden, we hadn't officially addressed it other than on social media, the passing of John Madden.
Yeah.
And you got to see the documentary that I told you about, and I still haven't seen it yet, although I have it DVR'd.
It's so good. The bottom line is the documentary just brought back so many memories of, for us at the time, the Washington Redskins. In a sense that Madden, you knew when Madden and Summerall were calling your game, it was a big game. And traditionally, the Washington Redskins at the time, the Washington football team, they could be the Commanders by the time this airs, right?
Is that what they're leaning towards? Commander?
That's what I've heard.
Oy.
Washington's football team was constantly in huge games, whether it be with the Eagles, Giants, or Cowboys. Like constantly having big 4 o'clock games. And Madden and Summerall were always calling their games. And what's interesting that you'll see, I don't think I'm really spoiling anything, they interview a lot of players, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Madden was such a force that players would up their game knowing that Madden was calling the game.
Oh, interesting.
Like he had a factor in like how they played. Like they would use that as a force of motivation to play better during the game because they knew that he was watching, because Madden, they had like that all Madden team and like
Yeah.
You know, they all wanted to be part of that. Like, he was like a huge force. Like, Madden touched so many lives in the NFL and you know, fans and everything. It's like you kind of lose track of it. It was really unbelievable.
Madden.
And it was funny, they show all the video games and like the first like 6 years, like Madden was on the cover, like, hey, and then they transitioned to having players on the cover.
Right.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, John Madden. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Rest in peace, Betty White.
Yeah, it's not been a good year.
Sidney Poitier. Come on.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That, I mean, that's, and they say things happen in threes, but 2021, it feels, well, I guess Madden was 2021 and then the rest were 2022.
Yeah.
Right. But still, it seems like a lot of people over the course of a couple weeks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks.
It does suck indeed.